Altar farming might just be the best strategy we have access to right now that isn't a T17 strategy. Hey, I'm Cyclon, and today I wanted to quickly talk about altar farming, what you should be picking, Exarch or Ether, why you should be picking one over the other, what should be your criteria to decide with, how do you run these maps, and also just my feeling on these strategies and what I can recommend to further upgrade them. Alright. Going in right with the beginning. I've been farming Exarch on day one. The moment idols were available to be trade searched, I bought Exarch idols and I farmed Exarch. And Exarch, when it hits really good. Like you get chaos, you get embers, you get regrets, you get vaults, you get chisels. Exarch, when you hit, it feels amazing. But Exarch had the flaw that when you didn't hit, it felt absolutely meh. There were just too many maps where it just didn't feel that great. So I swapped out of Exarch and on day 2 I ran Beasts. And Beast at that time was an absolute S tier strategy right now because the value of Beast, I have it here. I'm gonna pull it down to the Beast thingy. This is from today, based on PoE Ninja. Beast did drop in value, so right now it is still a solid strategy, and if you need currency, it is very available. You don't need much on your idols, and it's really good. But it is not an S tier strategy unlike altars right now, based on my opinion. So, Exarch and Ether altars. The Exarch altar I swapped out of, and then I swapped into Ether altars after Beasts dropped in value. Why did I not swap back to Exarch? As already said, the Exarch have really great highs, but if you don't hit, it doesn't feel great. Now, Ether, also of course, if you don't hit, it doesn't feel great. However, because of the higher investment that I put in the Scarabs, the better potential the idols have, and the additional value that Grand Eldritch Ichor has, Ether feels better than Exarch. The highs feel way more common. We are investing a little bit more in the strategy, sure, but the highs feel way more common and the highs feel way better than Exarch. And I'm completely ignoring the Divine Altar on Ether. Yes, I did hit the Divine Altar. I might be biased because of that, but even without the Divine Altar, I have made absolute bank with Ether altars compared to Exarch altars. Now, we are not getting Chaos Orbs, sure. The Eldritch Ichor was worth a lot more the last day compared to Exarch Embers. Now the lesser Ichor is a little bit less, but the Grand Ichor is more than the Grand Embers. So Ether is overall more valuable than Exarch on the Eldritch currency. You got and the altars on Ether can roll currency divination cards, and you regularly gonna see Sephiroth, so this is, or Divine Beauties, The Fortunate, Brother's Dash, Brother's Gift. You're just gonna see random div cards that gonna grant Divines or Exalt, and those are gonna feel great. You're gonna see a lot of alterations, a lot of fusings. No, fusings are dropping a little bit in value, so this is with a grain of salt. And you're gonna find a lot more Ichor. Like on the Exarch maps, I have maybe 1 in 8 maps where I get like 30 plus embers. And on Ether, 1 in 4 maps gonna have like 40, 50, or even 60 lesser or maybe sometimes even grand Ichors. And those highs just feel way better than the Exarch highs, and which is why I recommend that. Now, to the decision making. Really make your decision on this. If the embers of Exarch and the Ichors of Ether are about equal in value, pick Ether. If the embers are way more valuable than Ichors, pick Exarch. This is my main deciding factor to decide between those two. Now, how do you want to idle these? Sadly, we don't have Eye of the Djinn. Eye of the Djinn would have made it beyond busted to run altars, but we only have really good ones. Wrath of the Cosmos, compared to Eldritch Gaze, Wrath is slightly worse than Eldritch. Wrath has a chance for an additional upside, and if you do, the downside has more effect, while Eldritch Gaze has a guaranteed effectiveness of the upside with an additional downside. Now, this means that Wrath of the Cosmos is another of this. If it hits big, while Eldritch Gaze will just always make it good. As long as you get one good modifier on your altar, that one modifier is gonna be even better. And we benefit from this because the large jewels on Exarch, you can guarantee your first altar spawning. But on Ether, you just increase the chance to find altars by up to 80%. Now, once you increase those chance to find altars, it's just gonna feel that much better. Because you're just gonna find overall more altars, meaning, especially if you invest a little bit more with like a Horned Scarab of the Bloodlines, you're just gonna find a crazy amount of altars and your heights are just very much more likely. Now, another big benefit of the Ether over the Exarch is that we want massive and large idols. Because these massive and large idols have good prefixes compared to Exarch that want small idols. So the best prefix we can get is like more difficult and rewarding monsters or more increased scarab found. So what we can get on Ether is increased effect of map explicit modifiers per quality or per modifier. And we can get on large, we can just get increased effect of modifiers. Now this scales the downside of the maps, the modifiers we roll, but also increases the quantity of them, the rarity of them, and the pack size of them. Mainly the pack size is good for us because that again means more monsters, means more altars, means better maps. So Ether just has a whole bunch more upsides compared to Exarch. Now, all this said, let's take a look at how we want to run these. The first thing that's important to mention is we want to run jungle valleys. You can get with two void stones. Jungle Valley is the T15, meaning if you already have two void stones, you can farm T15 jungle valleys. You don't need all four void stones, making it great for entry level. Once you have 3 void stones or 4 void stones, it's a T16. We then can potentially scry Mesa onto Jungle Valley, so we get the Fortunates there, which I heavily recommend, but it takes additional time to get it over there. If you don't get lucky and get a name this year early, you might be spending a lot of time there, and Mesa isn't a great map for influence, unlike Jungle Valley is. Now, the reason Jungle Valley is great is Jungle Valley's boss isn't considered spawned until you go into the boss arena and you kill a few minions and you wait a moment. Because of this, altars cannot roll the boss modifier. So all your altars are gonna either give you a player downside with a chance to duplicate currency or increase quantity, or duplicate something and increase quantity, or it's gonna give you a minion rewards. And this is exactly what we're looking for. Increasing the odds of getting good minion rewards like Grand Eldritch Ichor or Lesser Eldritch Ichor or potentially Divines. And we just gonna click on all of these as we can get, and we're gonna use those to just get much more currency than we would getting with Exarch. And because Jungle Valley has only those, we just consistently gonna get this, and we don't need to boss rush, we don't need to do any hoops. We just put the map in, we run the map, we kill the enemies as we see them, and we click on the altars as we see them. Really great. So this is why we want Jungle Valley. The scarabs we want to use are Monstrous Scarab of the Lineage for magic pack size. Most Exarch and Ether packs are actually magic, so this is big for us. Then we want a Scarab of the Hordes. Again, more pack size, just gonna be great. We want as many pack size as much pack size as possible to get as many packs as possible. And for Ether, for Exarch, because of how Exarch behaves, it doesn't feel as great. But on Ether, you do want definitely to use a Bloodline Scarab. The Bloodline Scarab has increased magic monsters. Now, as far as I understood, the way this works is magic monsters means that the packs are the baseline bigger amount, and then pack size multiplies this. So this is a multiplier with pack size and just gonna grant you more enemies. So scaling pack size makes this even more better. And we definitely want to use this on Ether, where we just want to invest a little bit more to get those better highs. Because especially when we hit a Divine Altar, when we hit a really big high, this will make it that much bigger. So this is just great. Now, once we have all scarabs, we put the scarabs in, we apply the influence, we have our idle layout, and we just run the map. And that's all there is to it. We don't need to run any more hoops, we don't need a map modifier effect. Now, the idols could be better, or we just use the simple idols. Like most of my idols are, or basically all my idols, because I run 8 mod maps, are 1 mod idols. So we have pack size times 4, we have Anita Altar times 4, And then we have chance to duplicate Icor times 3 and 1 Eldritch Case, which as much roll increase effect of upsides as we can. And that's all there is to the strategy. Now, of course, Scarabs are sad, but yeah. Really solid. I like Ether more than Exarch, but because this video is made and maybe somebody else makes a video or maybe another streamer runs this, it could happen that this maybe changes. So do just check the value of grants whenever you run this. Grant Eldritch Ember is going for 2.5 to 3, and Icor goes for, oops, this is exceptional, runs for, what is it, 3.5 to 4. Yeah, so this is the big maker, this is the big decision factor, and if they are about equal, like they are not too different, it also depends that Ether just feels better than Exarch, my opinion. Maybe you run it yourself, Exarch isn't that expensive to set up, and you can make your own opinion. All this being said, video doesn't have to be longer than it has to be. If you've got any questions, if anything is unclear, you can ask on Discord, you can ask in the comment section, you can ask while I'm live streaming on Twitch, and I will try to answer as quickly as possible. Goodbye.